Hello everyone, and welcome to Chapter 5 of my 0% low turn count playthrough of the Vestrian Tale. Chapter 5 is another kill boss map, although the story of this map is Zeke and his gang are defending a village, so it's also partially a defend map. You could theoretically win this map by just running out the turn count, but obviously we're not going to do that. Chapter 5 is the first map where we actually lose a turn to a unit recruitment. I believe it's the only time that happens as well. And, I'm not upset about it. The unit we get by waiting a turn is very good, and she's definitely going to make up for the turn she costs here and then some. But what that means for us here is we have a very chill 3-turn clear. So it's not super intense for the most part, and I can spend a lot of time worrying about my long-term objectives because we are in the mid-game of AVT, and we need to start thinking about what our end-game plan is going to look like. That said, the turn 1 of this map is very action-packed, so I'm going to start talking about that. You can see there are a whole bunch of armor knights blocking these choke points that we need to get through. So that's why I'm busting out the mage squad, as well as a couple other units that can use magical weapons. Alva is going to be the boss killer, to no one's surprise, but instead of flying through the river around these choke point blockers, we do want to kill them because the thieves that they're protecting have incredibly good loot. We're going to hit the less important of the two first. He's got a body ring, which is pretty good, but not essential by any means. But yeah, we've got Zeke, who's going to bust out, I believe, the final Love Promise crit of the run, which is a nice little send-off. Ginepro is going to hit C-rank staves here, and I'm going to pop over here to see that the villagers that we were sent to protect actually aren't so defenseless after all. Not all these villagers are going to stick around after this chapter, but the horses and the warrior are. The other two are temporary, but they have a couple important side objectives that they need to work towards. Not the least of which is their own survival, so on turn 1 at least I'm just going to focus on getting this nice little defensive formation going, so we're covered from both sides. And right here, Jerez is going to grab the best item in the game, the rescue staff. One last note about turn 1 is that Alva is going to Pure Water up here for some survival later, and then she's going to get danced to a nice little launching pad for her encounter with the boss on turns 2 and 3. She needs to get 1 crit on enemy phase, but that's the only really shady part about this enemy phase. And now that that's been said, I really want to move on to what our long-term game plan needs to look like, because the rescue staff is going to be a very defining part of the second half of this game. It's got infinite range, meaning that, I don't have to care about the magic stat of any staffer that can use it. As long as anyone hits B-rank staves, they can pull someone from any corner of the map to any other. And so, Yahashua, who's been sticking around as a solid but unremarkable combat unit, suddenly got a whole lot better. He joins with B-rank staves, so right now he's the only guy who can use rescue. But obviously 2 rescuers are better than 1. Our 2 other options for a second rescuer are Ginepro and the troubadour that just joined us, Miss Parsley. Initially, I wanted Miss Parsley to be the second rescuer. She actually has an advantage over Yahashua in that she can promote and get 7 movement to his 6, but after some testing, she just gets rescue way too slow. Ginepro, the healer we got in prologue, is going to be super important for saving a couple turns later on, and our actions here are going to reflect that. But right now, the villagers are chasing down another super important side objective, which is capturing this sword fighter here, because he has the amazing weapon, very rare and very valuable, the Armor Slayer. It looks pretty unassuming, but I needed to nail a 40 to get that guy, and it's going to appear in 3 out of the next 4 chapters, so it's a seriously good weapon, and I needed to draw attention to it. Better than the Devil Axe we're going to pick up right here, honestly. But yeah, Ginepro, he needs to hit B rank staves by chapter 8 to save a turn. Miss Parsley cannot hit B rank staves until final, so she's out. But we have some downtime in turn 2 of this map, so Ginepro is going to barrier up some guys, and we're just going to send Iblis to help out with the staff grinding. It's not necessary, he can still like do it without dances, but you know, it's a very chill clear. Iblis doesn't have a whole lot else to do beyond that first dance of Alva. Speaking of Alva, although the Devil Lance was nowhere to be seen in Chapter 4, we are bringing it back for this turn here, as Alva prepares for her encounter with the boss. You know, she needs some meaty chip at 2 range, and that's her only really good weapon to do it. She has a decent chance of death here. She's going to face 4 enemies, or rather 4 attacks. One of the enemies doubles her, and she needs to dodge 1 of the 4. She dodges the first one, but you can see they all have pretty decent hit, and she also has the backfire chance from the Devil Lance, so it's pretty shady. I could have mitigated her chance of death by giving her the Angelic Robe from last map, but I am actually saving that for later. Alva hits level 10 here. There was never any question she was going to hit promotion level. But there is a question about Irene hitting promotion level. She's the other unit that we need to train. We need a third 8-move unit by Chapter 7. So she's going to hit level 9 here. She needs to hit level 10 by the end of next map. But our other 8-move unit that we have besides Alva and Irene after promotion is Alyssa, who just joined us. Falcon Knight. Flying reposition is crazy. Her combat's decent, and she's going to grab the village in the south that we abandoned with our southern squad. Their whole job was to get a rescue staff, but she's also going to grab this killer lance here. Pretty good. And as we round the corner on our final turn here, Helena is going to hit promotion level, which is neat. I have a third Master Seal lying around, and we're going to staff grind for just a tiny bit more before we close the book here. Alva, she didn't have a mushroom at her disposal, so her method of killing the boss was to go for a Devil Lance chip into a Killer Lance crit. That's going to be Chapter 5, cleared in 3 turns. Thank you for watching, and we actually do get a couple little rewards for keeping the temporary units alive. The Armor Knight and the Mage, they're like alright, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you for Chapter 6.